What's up? What's up? Welcome to the 9th episode of Peon Podcast. Thanks for sticking it out with me. If you are still around, I had to take a little break, little mental health break. A lot of stuff's been going on. Obviously, the last episode, if you listen to it, a friend of mine died. You never really realize how much that stuff affects you until shit starts affecting your life, and then you go, "Oh shit, I'm fucked up. I didn't think I was." So I've been kind of dealing with that. Aside from that, holy shit, man! I'm going to officially announce the opening of my merch store. I say holy shit because fuck, is it a nightmare trying to get that shit up and running and make it secure. And so I've the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've just been dealing with just support people and support chats and to figure out what the fuck is going on and how to make this store work as easily as possible for people. So that's been a real fucking struggle, but happy to say it is up and running. If you would like to go check out some merch, if you'd like to, rock some Peon shit, it is at peonmagazine.com/store. I have 3 collections up there. Got the egg collection, I like to call it, which is the OG Peon logo, which is the logo of this podcast. And then we got the Lucky Peach ripoff collection, which is my favorite because it's just literally just a ripoff of the Lucky Peach logo, if anybody knows that magazine. And then the 3rd collection is going to be sort of a limited time thing. That is one of my favorite articles and designs that I had the pleasure of putting into the magazine. The idea came from, let me say, it was the Black Beans article, which was masterminded by Andrew Jack, who's been on this podcast, and AJ Jack on Instagram. He had this great idea of doing a play on the Black Flag album called Six Pack, which, if you haven't seen it, it's just this guy huddled in a corner with a bunch of blood or shit all over the floor and all of his face and stuff. But his idea was that during the pandemic, he was locked up in his house with a bunch of fermentation shit. So it's this guy, AJ Jack, fucking huddled up in the corner with a bunch of fermentation items around. And it's his Peon mag. And all the art was done by Tommy Washbush, who's a great artist. Check him out. He's on Instagram at WashBeast. And there's also another play on that with just Peon Mag and the Black Flag logo with black beans. So the way that it works is I don't actually have the shirts printed. Nothing's printed. This is a way to obviously save money and storage space and things like that, since I don't really know how much people will want to purchase. So I made all these designs through a print-on-demand service. So what happens is that the second you buy something, it is printed, it is individually printed, and then sent to you. So it takes a little bit more time. It's a little bit more expensive on my end, but I figured it was better for the sake of, the way that my store and life works. I guess right now I don't really have the funds to buy a shitload of merch. And it's also cool to have a lot of designs and stuff available and just to see what people like. So yeah, go check it out. If you guys have any ideas for merch or you want to see something individual, let me know. I'm working on stickers as well. That's a request from my brother. But stickers and pins and some other special shit. Sharpies maybe. Yeah, again, that's peonmagazine.com/store. Kevin, I better not see you in a bunch of fucking Peon merch on Thursday or Sunday at work. Everybody else, you're welcome to buy as much as possible. Today on the show is Domonic Candy, who is the chef and owner of a new spot in Austin called Tiny Diner. He's doing some shit I love, which is that he serves 4 things. And part of that, I'm sure, is the limitations of the kitchen. But I love that it's just something simple, and he's trying to do it really well. And it's also really unique. Nobody else is doing okonomiyaki, and it's delicious. It really reminded me of comforting breakfasts I had in Japan. So if you live in Austin, check it out. I've known Dom ever since I started cooking. Dom's just been like, he was on my first stage. He's just one of those dudes who's just been around. He's got a crazy long resume. He's worked at so many places. And, but like I said, I've known him for ages. You know, he knows everybody. As you'll hear, this is kind of like the shout out episode. There's a lot of shout outs. There's a lot of friend talk. There's a lot of names dropped. Hopefully you know them. If you don't, check them out. Look them up. It's a lot of Austin people. Chefs from Olame, Yoshi from Otoko, Bryce from Barley Swine, and the whole crew behind him. Mark, Sam from Suerte, and these are all people that like kind of created what's going on in Austin now. Like all these huge restaurants that are finally blowing up, and these chefs that are finally getting some national recognition. So these are all big names, even if you might not know them. But there is going to be a lot of shout outs. The other thing is that this is also an episode that I recorded in person because Dom's a friend of mine and he lives just down the street. So we recorded this in a bar. So there is going to be some background noise. I don't mind it. I did my best to edit it out, but you will hear some background noise. It was also like, I think it was like Monday Night Football or something like that. So there was some cheers and shit like that, but hopefully that won't bother you. Hopefully it'll add to the ambiance of the whole thing and you can be there with us as we were drinking and Dom was eating a hot dog. The other thing with this episode is that it was really long. We talked for I think 2.5 hours. So I cut it down as best as I could. And as usual, I'm going to put the full episode, the extended episode. I think there's like 30 minutes of extra stuff that I'm going to put that on the Patreon. And so if you'd like to be a part of that, you'll get that extra episode. Yeah, enjoy this episode. It's great talking to Dom. Dom's just like, it's such a chill dude. It's great talking to him, and he's got a lot of great insights about like opening a restaurant and that whole process. His restaurant is again Tiny Diner. That's all over Instagram. Shit, I don't know what else to say. Enjoy this episode.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, dude, they're like everybody else. They can't keep anybody. So it's always fucking hard.
Yeah, I know. This is definitely a struggle.
How's the new place going? How you feel being a kitchen owner? Are you an owner? I guess what is the situation there?
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I own Tiny Diner. I have one investor.
So wait. Did Native like have the spot and then they like were looking for a cook, or how did that whole situation work out?
Yeah, so I guess like after the pandemic, it was really like Antonio was like kind of like running everything at Native, and then he had CK, and CK was kind of like managing all the like food spots there. So he just had the idea of just being like reaching out to like some local people that he thought was like really good. Like he reached out to like La Santa, he reached out to Idlewild, and yeah, like they just reached out and they were just like, there's a tiny little kitchen behind there, yeah. Which was like really hard in the beginning, but they were just like, you can do whatever you want, and I was like, it's kind of hard because I just did the reopen with like Amanda and like Chef Michael at Olame, and I definitely wanted to like, you know, just be there and like, dude, like working with like Chef Amanda and Chef Michael, like so amazing. Like it was just like such a great team. And I think like we just all complement each other in like all these like really cool ways.
Yeah.
But then like with having that, you know, like everyone always wants the opportunity to be like, here you go, and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
But then like honestly, like, you know, 3 months into it, you're like, man, just like that vision that you had of it is like so. It's just like you see the vision in the beginning and you see the space, and then it's just like it's like you take steps away. It's like you take all these steps back and you're like, oh, we gotta go do this, we gotta go do this, we gotta do this, we gotta do this, and then like
shit.
And then you're like, and then like by the time you like start getting back to that, it's like you're always chasing that goal of like, this is exactly
that perfect vision.
Yeah, you're like, this is exactly what it was gonna be, right? So
yeah.
Like, but it's really cool because like at the same time you get to like actually make those decisions and those choices that like go like you see the results like instantly, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of times with like a huge, like a really big team, it's like, you're just like, oh, we have to go through here, we have to talk to this, and we have to have like this meeting, or we have to talk to this person.
Oh,
but, like,
yeah.
you can just like,
for sure. Instead of you just fucking just doing it.
like
you're
literally,
the
like
dude.
in the moment, you're like, hey, let's not do this, let's try this, and then like seeing the instant change, and even though it's like, but it's like also very nerve wracking in the beginning because like you kind of do that a lot, and then it's like you're like, oh no, you're like it's like you kind of come overbearing, and then you see like oh, this is where like all these other shows started,
Yeah.
Because like things that you kind of can't handle is like the things that are the most upsetting.
What do you mean?
Just
like dealing with like people, or you mean like the actual like food?
like almost just like so in the beginning, like, I didn't have like the right hood vent, and I didn't really, and that's like something you do for right away, like HVAC stuff, like number one, like you get that stuff squared away right away. Yeah. But it was just like such like an open thing, and then like like obviously they were bringing in like other people were coming in, they were like it was like kind of like a lot of like opportunity, so everyone was like but I was like still like kind of like working out Olame, and then still trying to like be like, hey, this is my spot, don't come in here, and then everyone being like, he's not even here.
Oh, people were trying to like get in and like
just
steal
like
the
a little bit
from you?
because like I wasn't like there,
Yeah.
And then so like and also I kept like I would show up every now and then and be like, I'm gonna make okonomiyaki, and they're like, what like is that? And then I would like not be around for a while, and then they'd be like, what is he talking? Like, who is this guy? And like a lot of people were like, we're trying to like recover after the pandemic and like try to like hustle, and like Native was really trying to like blow up. So
yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, just like one thing was just like even with the hood van, it was just like barely getting that in at the very very last moment, like literally like 2 days before,
Yeah, I remember you said like you guys were opening, but then you had to like push it back. Is that why?
Yeah.
Because the hood vent shit. You had to like redo the hood vents.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude.
Because we just had it was like the wrong hood vent, and you don't even know who you're supposed to talk to in this situation.
Yeah.
So you're just like, I don't want to like, one, you don't want to be disturbing anyone because you don't want to get kicked out of your spot, like unknowingly, just to be like, someone just to be like, well, this guy's a nuisance, so like, just tell him to go away, actually. And then you're just like, oh, well, that's terrible. But then you handle it, and then it's like, a lot of it is just like anxiety of just like being like, hey, can you just help me with this? And then finding out that it's like there's people there that like want to help and like make it happen. And now like it's like 2 months in, and it's just like
you guys are getting a lot of hype and shit, man. You're getting a lot of love. That's fucking great, man.
And it's really cool. And
who knew everybody wanted okonomiyaki for breakfast, dude?
Yeah,
you fucking knew it.
No,
you knew it.
I was like, I didn't know. I was like, oh my god. And that's why that's why we had the egg sandwich on. But then even in like
the okonomiyaki's blowing up though. Like,
but that's what you really want,
Yeah.
But like you have the egg sandwich on there as like the safe thing, but like even like the Eater article, it came out as like the egg sando. So like everyone was like, oh, you're doing egg sando, like the Japanese style, like.
Yeah, but
like
it's not
and it wasn't, And then it was like, and then we named it the Tiny Sando. So like people were showing up, and they were just like, "What?" Everyone was just like, "What are you doing?" And I was just like, "Look, I really just want to serve the okonomiyaki, like the egg sandwich."
You just want to sell okonomiyaki exclusively.
But even like this egg sandwich, it's like when people have it, they're just like, "Oh man, this is great," and I'm like, "Oh, this is like really like," and now like people are like reaching out and just like being just so kind, like. It's like the really like kind feedback. Like I had some lady come in from Osaka, and she was like, she let me know right before. She was like, I'm from Osaka, and I was just like, I was like, I'm about to get roasted. Like she's about to just like lay into me, and then afterwards she was like very happy, and it wasn't even like about the food. It was just like she was just like, she was just very happy with what she'd eaten, and like. That's the best part. Like I think that's like she was like, oh, I grew up on this, and she was like, you have your own version, and it's like, but it also reminds me of like home a little bit, and I was like,
that's cool.
That's amazing, and like that's the best thing I could be looking for, especially like when I'm just like some black dude from like Indiana, like kind of making Japanese food just a little bit, But it's like, I just felt like I learned so much from like working with Chef Man and Chef Michael, just like pushing that things, and like working with Yoshi of like. Just like you can make things if you're just like true to yourself, like you can really make something really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if it's not like, oh, this is gonna like take the top #1 spot. It's just like
dude,
a good place where someone can just come And like, you know, even if you don't come every day, it's like you come every once in a while and it's fun, you know?
Yeah, man. I think like there's a huge like under appreciation of like just doing something really well. You know what I mean? Like even if you just do like a pork katsu, like just brining the pork katsu and then breading it fresh and like frying it properly and like all that shit matters because it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And nobody really sees that unless you do it right. And then they go, holy shit, it's fucking amazing.
Well, it's like one thing that like always stuck with me was like even when we worked at like Isa King in the very beginning, you know, in the beginning we were able to like roast all this like all of our pork.
Dude, I remember.
We were able to like take all this like extra care and then like, but like once it scaled up, it was just like then we were sous vide, you know, like things changed in this like different kind of way where it's like you have to keep up with like what everyone.
The growth, the growth of it, dude. I mean, damn, dude. Well, shit, let's start at the beginning, man. What was your first step? Let's fucking transition, dude. Was that a good segue?
Yeah, that was
like
great.
You like that?
Yeah.
That's smooth transition. How long were you cooking before I met you? I'm like what 2012, 13, something shit like that.
2013.
Yeah, it must have been, right?
Yeah. Not long at all. I had worked at like this little like sub shop in Richmond a little bit called Penn Station.
Richmond, Virginia?
Oh, Indiana.
Indiana, okay.
And then I worked there for like maybe a little bit. But like I literally like had gotten in a car the day that like I was supposed to go to work there, and I was just like going to Austin. Like,
what do you mean?
So my friend Dell like had come to visit, and we were just talking about me going back to Austin because I kept coming to visit. Like I came down like 3 times one year.
Yeah.
And then he was just like in town, and then he just like pulls up and he's like, "Just get in. We're going back to Austin." And I was just like, "Yeah, you're right." And it was just like snowing, and like I was just like playing like Fallout 3, and like me and my homie we were just like super bummed out, and like so we were just like I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go." And then I was like literally like near like Louisville, Kentucky when my boss finally called, and he was
wait,
just,
what?
like,
He's like, "Where are you at?"
Yeah, they're like, "Are you gonna come in?" And I was just like,
"I'm in Louisville, Kentucky."
Moving to Austin. And I was like, "I'm so sorry, Andy." And he
That's
was just like,
crazy, dude. That's insane.
And he's just like, "Can you turn around and like come get me?" And I was just like, and I
he was like, "Come."
No. Andy was like, dude, Andy was super cool. They like moved him from the East Coast to work in like
at the
Richmond.
sub shop.
Yeah, and they moved him right across the street. So if like in Richmond, Indiana, there's like he like lived across the street from his job. So like that was all he kind of did.
Yeah.
So, but he was also like one of those guys like he would just like run over to his apartment and he would just like build like all these gravity bongs and like all these like crazy things and weed was like hella illegal.
Yeah, back then. Holy shit, yeah.
So he just like run over, and he's like also the guy that's like samurai swords like all on his like like all on his walls. But it's
was he white or was he Asian?
No, he was a white guy. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
just like samurai swords and shit.
Yeah. But Andy was awesome. But he was just getting paid way too much to run this little sub shop and like live in Richmond, Indiana, where your like rents like at the time was probably like $300, and you had like a huge like really massive place. Yeah, I worked there for a little bit, and then got in the car, came here.
Yeah.
Then I was living here.
You're just like, fuck it.
Yeah, and then I didn't even think about it. I was like, I hated it. I was like, working in kitchens is the worst thing. Like,
yeah,
it's absolutely like,
yeah, it sucks.
It's crazy. Like, there's no like everyone hates you, and like everyone wants the most from you, and you're getting paid like I was getting paid like $7.75 an hour, like no tips or anything.
Wait, so was Eastside King your first place? Your first job here?
No. I'd actually like when I first got here, I worked at like this spot called like Telephone. It was like a call service center, and I did that for literally like a week, I think.
Shit.
And then I was like, oh, this is terrible. So then I was like, oh, I gotta get an actual job. So my only real like experience was retail. So like I ended up working at Hot Topic as like a key holder.
What's a key holder? What do you mean? Oh, for like opening like jewelry cases and shit?
No, they just gave me a key, so like I would come and open and work in the mornings when like no one wanted to be there. And like open the store.
At the mall? Dude, down south?
At Highland Mall.
Oh, Highland Mall.
Yeah.
Dude, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
That shit was so shitty.
Dude, it was crazy. It was so dead too.
It was
like, it would be so insanely dead, and I would be like, I had like made friends with this homie who worked at Journeys, and we just like I would walk down to Journeys, and we would just like close the gate, and we would just be like smoking weed in the back.
Okay.
And then we would like walk out and like open the gate like we weren't doing, we'd like.
It just reeks of weed.
And there would just be nobody in the mall, so it just didn't even matter. But then after that, like, oh yeah, I quit that job going back to Indiana.
When you went back?
Same, yeah.
You were just like, what?
Yeah, so the bins that I came down in Austin with, like my homie Dale converted it to run on vegetable oil. So we were like, all right, we're going back to Indiana. And then so we're like going back to Indiana on vegetable oil that we're just like trying to get from the back of restaurants. It was terrible. It took us like 7 days to get back. And then so I quit that job the same way. In the car, I was in Dallas and I was just like, I'm going back to Richmond and I don't even know how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
And then some friends came back down and then we all had a spot. And then I worked at Thundercloud.
The sub shop?
Yeah, like right here on like 12th and Lamar. And then
wait, what was that place like? Because I never worked at like a sub shop like that. Like,
I mean, honestly, it was actually like kind of like we were just serving a lot of like the law offices, so we'd have like a really big like busy lunch.
Okay, so it was just like.
Mm-hmm. And at the time, it was a Thundercloud you wanted to work at. It was like the OG one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because it was like the original one.
Yeah, back then I feel like Thundercloud was kind of cool because like it was kind of like a local like sub
yeah,
shop and shit.
It was honestly kind of how like
Eastside King.
A lot of spots, like, kind of just how like everyone kind of knew each other, and then like a lot of people were like local, so it was like kind of just like really cool, awesome vibe to it.
Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, it was really cool. Like, I mean, it was really funny. Like the first, I walk in and they were like, rule number 1, don't be an idiot. And I was just like, oh shit, at Thundercloud? And I was like, all right, cool. And then like everybody was just
like, I'm definitely gonna.
Everybody's like, all right, we're gonna go take a safety meeting. And I was like, oh, a safety meeting? I was like, that's kind of weird. And then I was just like, oh, we're just smoking weed. And like, like it just, that was it. It's like you just come in,
build some sandwiches, and
make some sandwiches, collect a whole bunch of tips.
Wait, where'd you go to after that? You said
after Eastside King, I was eating at Misa Hungry a lot at Chip Charlie.
After Thundercloud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would go there. I would go there a lot.
Where was that at?
Chip Charlie, or not Chip Charlie. Misa Hungry used to be behind Chip Charlie's when Chip Charlie's was on the east side. Misa Hungry was in the back, and we were just serving like there's like this lost lady and then her daughter Christine who was.
Oh,
like,
so you started working there?
I was like eating there one day, and I was just like, oh man, like to me it was like blowing my mind. I was like, oh man, it's like red curry noodles.
Wait, what was the food?
It was just like banh mi and like curry noodles.
Okay,
and it was like real cheap.
I remember that shit. Yeah. It was like it was super cheap and it was good.
Yeah.
It was like simple like Asian or like Vietnamese food. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I mean the lady who like eventually trained me, like Kimda, she was like making cupcakes for it. So like it was like Chip Charlie's was there, and like Chip Charlie's was like definitely like doing its thing in like super sick spot.
Yeah.
And it was like becoming what it is like now, and then there was like because even like I mean like the dude Cole from like Coconut Club, he was like bartending there at the time,
Oh no, fucking
yeah,
right. Yeah.
So it was like all those dudes who were like kind of doing stuff, and then. Yeah, I was just like, yo, I was like, when are you guys going to blow up and put me on the team? And then they were like, you want to work here? And I was like, yeah. And then they were like, all right. And then like it turned out that like Kendo was like about to have a baby. So like it was just like one of those things that just like worked out really well. And then she trained me and then like it was just super sick. And then, but then she left and then like once Kendo and Ryan left, it was just like a different kind of like thing.
And what do you mean they left? Like, did they sell it or did they just
they had their baby and then like, but they were both working there and then so they left and then like.
Oh, so it just became.
It's like a different chef came
managers and chefs and shit like that. Yeah.
And then like one day I was just like, I kind of like, I guess I just like got into it with one of my chefs.
What do you mean?
Well,
you got like an argument or some shit?
All right, so one night he had shown some like. All right, some girl came and she was like, I'll show you my breast. And he showed me, he gave me some needles and he was just like, I'm about to do this thing. And he was like, hold down the floor. And I was just kind of like, like, for what? And I was like, really, for this? And then like, he came back and he was like, and I was just like, whoa, this sucks. And then like 2 days later or something, I was like kind of like 5 minutes late, like 5 or 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, just leaning into me like super hard, and I was just like, whoa. I was like, dude, like my bad, like, you know. And like I had called before. And,
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
And he just like were just going into me. But at the time, like, well, who are like my really good homies now, like Nick and Bonnie, they were like the managers.
I know Nick and Bonnie, dude. Come
My
on,
bad.
dude.
So Nick and Bonnie were coming to Misa Hungry and doing like the schedule for Eastside King and stuff.
Oh, sick. Okay.
So they would show up
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they would be doing stuff for Eastside King, and I was like, damn.
That's how you met Nick and Bonnie? They were just
Yeah.
like customers at Misa Hungry and
Yeah.
shit? That's fucking cool, man.
And then yeah. So when like me and my like chef gotten into it, I was just like whatever. And then like I was like leaving, and I was like, you know, walking away, and it was just so funny because like I didn't even get like I got like maybe like halfway out of Jared Charlie's in the yard, and he just comes out and he's just like, where are you going? Come back. And I was just like, and I looked back and I was just like, I'm already too far gone. Like I was just like, I'm already so far away. I was like, I think I'm quitting. And then like I was just like, man, what am I doing? And I was just like, and then like I just like walked down to the street and I just like walked to Eastside King, like at Liberty, and like I walked to the back door, and then like, and I was just like, yo, dude, are you guys like hiring? And then like it was Nick, and Nick was like, yeah, I come back for a stage, I guess. And then like I came back for a stage, and then at first they weren't hiring, and then someone had called no showed the next day. So he was just like, called me and was just like, do you want the job? And I'm like,
Jesus,
yeah.
man.
And then I was
Shit was
looking at
scratched
Instagram.
like that back then.
It was wild.
Yeah.
And then they did like Gypsy King, like in my first week there.
What do you mean?
Gypsy King used to be this like old trailer competition in Austin.
Oh shit, I forgot all
So they were
about
doing that, and then
That's
they
right.
won. But then we were also like, we had like this like rented trailer. So the trailer I staged in like was like the new trailer.
That's right.
And then when I came back to actually work, it was like this whole new trailer, and I was just like, they're gonna know I can't cut.
Oh, dude, I remember that shit. Wait, so did you start in the OG one, like the old Shangri-La trailer, like that tiny little box with just the fucking?
No, I started at Liberty. I was
at the actual, like the bigger, when they finally got the bigger trailer.
Yeah, they had just gotten rid of like the small first one.
Yeah.
And then so like my first day was in the new trailer.
In the new one.
And then they used it for Gypsy King, I'm pretty sure. And then so we had the rented trailer. And then we like did, it was like one of those like, you know, kind of like construction spot like trucks.
Yeah, yeah.
And then so we were cooking out of that. And then but it was sick, like, you know. I just remember like it was just so wild, like just being like Liberty was like packed, like they were doing so, we were like so busy, and then like people were just coming in, and we were just like young, and like Nick was like, I don't even think Nick was 21 at the time.
Yeah.
And like
I think I met him when he was 21.
and we were just like, and I was just like,
Bonnie was
these
super
kids
young.
are just like running everything. And it was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Aaron, I think at that point was probably the oldest, and he was like what, like I don't even remember, probably 25. I don't even really know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I was like,
okay.
even when you were at Shangri-La, it was really funny because Moto was like, I remember you got like, when you interviewed, and then Moto was like, I like this guy. And we were watching, we were like, that guy? And it was like, we were like, that guy? And then, because you were such a quiet dude.
So quiet.
And we were already like so rowdy. Like, and I knew we were like, and then you were like working at Shang, and like, I remember like going there and working with you, and like, you showed me death grips.
Yeah.
Like, you put on death grips, and I was just
You're
like,
like, who the fuck?
I was like, what? And I just remember we were just in the truck and we were just like fucking going. I was like, this is so
Dude.
sick. And then I was just like,
Yeah.
But it's like those like one moments where it's just like,
Yeah, they fucking,
you know?
yeah, so good. Yeah, I remember fucking being at that stage and like I was so fucking nervous the whole time because it was, dude, that shit was insane. I pulled up to that spot and not having been in a kitchen ever, except for in Japan, and that was a weird kitchen. It was fucking crazy, dude.
you worked in Japan?
Yeah. I worked at a little izakaya in Japan
sick.
for like an exchange program.
Nice.
But all I did was like pour beers and like do dishes and shit. Like
Yeah.
that. But do you pull like I pull up to that thing and it was like there's a line literally from the front of the truck all the way to the fucking like door of the bar, right? And everybody's waiting because Paul just fucking popped off on Top Chef, and there's like 6 people jamming that trailer. I'm just sitting there doing dishes, and there's no chance to talk because the music's so fucking loud.
Dude.
Everybody's shouting over everybody. There's no way you can communicate at all. And then the next day, I'm like, I probably didn't get that job. And then you told me, I think we were gonna hire you. And then Moto was like, no, we're hiring him. And I was like, okay, that's weird. Like, I don't know why Moto liked me so much. I don't know, maybe because I said I went to Japan or something. I have no clue.
He's gonna be so good, and we're like, fuck yeah.
Oh shit!
And then
okay,
that's why
I had
it was
no
like
idea.
instant. Like we were just like,
Oh, shit.
we're like, fucking dad said so. We're like, fucking all right.
The first day I worked at the trailer too was a deep clean. Was like when everybody came in for a deep clean. Moto's like, yeah, show up at the trailer at like 2 p.m. We're gonna all like deep clean the truck and shit. And I'm like cleaning the floor of the truck like near the opening, and I hadn't talked to Moto at all since the interview. He comes up to me and he like imagine like I'm like at like chest level. And Moto comes up and he's like right there and he goes, get down there, get behind that crevice. And I go down here and I get right between the fryer and the door and he's like yeah, get back there. That was my first interaction with Moto. Just cleaning. He's like, clean harder. That's fucking Moto, man.
My first interaction with Moto, he just like walked in. He had some like slacks, like a nice button-up shirt, and like a brown Kango with like the gold like kangaroo in the back. And I was like, who is this guy? And Nick and Bonnie were just like, Moto. And I was like, Moto-san, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. God, they're so different. Like Moto comes in and he's just like he's like sneaking around and kind of like silent about it. Everybody's like so like
dude, he's
humble
the man,
to him.
though. Yeah.
He's the shit.
Dude,
yeah,
literally.
and he's like asking questions. Like he's asking questions about his own restaurant.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, why we do this?
Why are you doing this?
He's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then Paul comes in. He's like, fucking tornado. It just fucking changes everything. All of a sudden, you're like, okay, I guess I'll forget everything I was doing before. He's like, now there's pickles on the burger. We're putting lettuce on everything.
Nah.
Fuck the herbs. Throw those away.
Moto was super sick because like he just like really, you could tell like he really appreciated it when like the job was done well.
Yeah,
and
for
then,
sure.
Like, and then like in a situation like that where it's like slamming out. It's like you got to do like like we're doing so many people, like there's just so many drunk people to feed. Like it's just like 1 a.m, and then he just like he just like really hyped if it's like presented well and like done really well. And that was like one thing I always thought was like it doesn't matter. Like
I feel like that was the best place to learn. Because like learning at a place like that, like so tight and like kind of dirty, like made you appreciate every place you went after that. So like now I know how to like keep everything tight and concise and like use less dishes because I'm like I don't want to do dishes.
Yeah.
So fuck it, I'm gonna use as little dishes as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely a good spot to learn.
Like
and shit, it was fucking slammed all the time.
Yeah, dude, it was
so
wild.
Yeah.
And even the times when it was just like, oh, they need this at this trailer, and you're like, okay, and like it'd be too busy. Yeah, it'd be like too busy to like really go anywhere. So it's like you're just like running in the alleys with like your knives and stuff, and you're just like, oh snap! So they need help over here. We gotta go do this thing. I'm like, oh god, what do you guys need?
Yeah.
But it was just so fun, and like I don't know, to do it so young was like really sick.
Yeah, for sure. That was a really good. That was a great place to learn. So like, was that your first like full-on like kitchen job? Because I mean, working at deli is not really kind of like a deli. But
Yeah.
like, that was like where we actually learned to like cook. Like I remember you guys were teaching me how to like cook the pork belly and the tongue. Back they don't even do the beef tongue anymore.
Yeah.
But like we were doing the tongue buns, shit like that, beets, shit.
Yeah, it was definitely really cool. And then especially like when like I was there for a little bit when Ty like first came on too. So to see like how Ty did his stuff and like, dude, Ty was just like such an amazing chef as well. It was like so wild.
He's
like,
really good, yeah.
Yeah. And then like even that crew that like all you guys like that hung around and still worked with him, like it was just like really cool to see like everyone that came from there did like really well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But then I went to Kome.
You went to Kome after that? Or
No, I went to Annie's. No, I went to Annie's.
Dude.
And that's where it was like that was like the worst. Like that was like one of those things when I was just like, this is the worst place to be.
You told me a fucked up story. I don't remember this correctly, but I talked to you right after that happened. You said you went to Annie's on a stage. Annie's is not around anymore, right? As far as I know.
No.
You went to Annie's on a stage, and you said like you walked in for the stage, and you were like, all right, I'm ready. How can I help? And they were like, yeah, it's you on the breakfast line. We're gonna go take off and go get a drink.
Like
or
literally,
something.
they were just like, I got there at like 5, and I was like, oh, so I'm just here to like learn some stuff, and like I'd worked at E-Cycling, but like really that was kind of it. Like I didn't know how to like really run a like whole breakfast line. They were like, all right, you gotta like make oatmeal, you gotta get all this stuff ready for this thing, you gotta get this ready, you're gonna be doing omelets, you're gonna be doing this thing. And I was just like, you guys want to watch, like, you guys just want to watch me wing this? Like I was literally like into just like, I'm definitely winging this. And it was because my homie had gotten hired, and then like literally I got hired the day after. Like they just like clearly needed people to like do breakfast. But I did that for like maybe a week, and I think I'd asked my chef one day. I was just like, what do I gotta do? And he was like, you just gotta fucking run.
What do you
this
mean?
dude had like horns tattooed on top of his head. It was
Oh my god!
Like ram horns, but they were like really really bad. And he had just become like the head chef or like whatever.
Jesus
so it was like really
Christ.
funny. And then like everyone else who had worked there was like had worked there for like between 9 and like forever, like 9 to 10, like
years.
They're like vets, like vets.
Oh my god!
And I was just like, oh, this is crazy. And I was like, I don't understand this at all. And then like, and I really just didn't. Like it was just like every day I would just like go in there and just like really really struggle and like kind of just be like,
man.
like one day. It's kind of like where I also fell in love with like, you know, the dishwashers. I was like in the schnitzel weeds and I was just like, and they were like, you know, I was like basting them like in like the pans, and I was just like, and I had like 6, and I'm like sitting here like trying to like baste all these like, do these like, all these schnitzels like in a pan, and then like dishwasher comes over and he's like looking around, he doesn't see anyone, and he like looks at me. And he just starts grabbing all my schnitzels and starts throwing them all in the fryer, and I was just like, this man is a hero. And I was like, oh yes. And then, you know, but then like, you know, my chef caught me doing it like the next day, and he was just like, what are you doing? And I was just like, oh, I thought this was cool.
I thought that was the right thing to do. Yeah.
You know, but then it was like F1.
Oh
yeah, it was a terrible time.
dude.
It was like the first F1, I think, in Austin, and like they were like doing stuff downtown, so it was like super busy. And then so they hired the guy that they had fired, who had been like this line cook who was doing the breakfast like for like forever apparently.
Yeah. So they fired him and then hired him back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Just to do the F1.
Oh shit!
Because there was no way I was gonna do it, and there was no way like my homie LJ was gonna do it.
Wait, so you were the only breakfast cook?
Me and my homie LJ, we were like,
okay.
we would like,
Jesus.
we would kind of like go back and forth during the weekday, and then like Saturday and Sunday we'd work together.
Oh shit! Yeah. God damn.
But we were like, you know, like on those like Saturday and Sunday we'd be like, oh my god, thank God it's you.
There's another person.
Yeah. But it sucked, and we just got our asses handed to us. And then, but then they hired that guy back, and then I guess like the day before this happened, I was trying to like talk to the chef, and then he was like, some lady had walked by, and then when she walked by, he just like, he stopped me and was just like, he started like, he sniffed the air. He was just like,
no.
And then I was
Oh
just like,
god, dude.
and then
What
like,
the fuck,
but I was about to
dude?
get off, so like, I didn't even finish what I was gonna say to him. I just was like, oh, okay, well, never mind. And then like, I just left, and then I just didn't come back. I was just like, yeah,
Again.
there's no way I'm coming back.
Again,
So he
dude,
calls
wait.
me the next day, and he's like, hey, he's like, you're not coming in? And I was like, no way, I'm not coming back. And he was just like, I have to cover for you tonight. And he was just like cussing me out on the phone. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And I was like, well, okay. I mean, you are the chef. And then, so he like, but then like my homie I talked to my homie like 2 days after that, and he quit. And then he was like, and then he tells me the story about how the guy that they hired back was like this super vet, and then like the chef came in and was like trying to like push him off the line a little bit, and the guy was like, you can do my job? And the guy was like, he's like, yeah, I can do your job, and like pushed the guy out of the way, and the guy like pulls a little fork out of his like pocket and like stabs the chef, and then they get into like a fight. They start fighting on the line,
And
like,
he stabbed him?
yeah, they stabbed him with a fork,
shit.
and then they were just like kind of like fighting it out on the line a bit, and then like I guess like I don't know what happened. I guess they like
insane.
fired that guy again,
Of course.
and then and then my homie quit like the next day, and then we were just like talking about like how terrible it was to work at Ames, and then I was just like, oh, this sucks, and then I went to work at Come, and then
That's the OG Come, right? The
Yeah.
one where Satin is right now, right?
the L-shaped kitchen.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought it was great because it was just like I got to learn more about Japanese food, and I'd always wanted to do sushi, but I just didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So then like after I went to Annie's, I was like, well, I'm just gonna go learn through the kitchens and just like this doesn't make sense to be like getting my ass handed to me every day at like Annie's. And then I was at Kome, and Kome was like, dude, it was really challenging. It was like really busy in the beginning, and like it was just like, and it was like a really small kitchen.
That place was so fucking busy.
It was like turn covers like all the day. So I got to learn a lot there, and then you know that's where I definitely got to like work more with like Trevor and Abel, and like that's where I met Vince. Yeah, but then that's when they were opening Daruma.
Oh, they shut down for the new spot. You mean?
No, from Kome.
Yeah, Kome. Yeah.
At Kome but we were still doing Kome at the old spot when Daruma opened.
Oh, okay.
Originally.
So you went straight from Kome and you moved to Dharma?
Well, I was doing both.
Oh, you were doing both of them?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
And then I like did this like film course, and then like, and then I quit and just went to Daruma like full time.
Yeah.
And then it was sick. Like Daruma was like so tight because it was like literally like it was like the closest I got to like really authentic like Japanese like ramen since like I'd been in Japan. So it was just like really cool. And then to learn how to like actually like make it like
make a broth.
like make your broth, like
Shit,
make your tares, like make it all the way from like scratch was like super cool. And like Kyle was just like literally like the best. She was just like, here's the recipes, and then she would come in like every day for like you know Mach and I, and just like make us all like a meal, and like
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was super sick. And, like, and then like it was just like really fun. And then, but that's where I met Tebby.
Who?
Tebby. So Tebby owns Saigon Lavender. So in the beginning when we first opened Daruma,
I didn't know he worked.
Yeah, we hired Tebby.
Oh shit.
And then it was so in the beginning it was like me, Abel, Tebby, Payne, and Trevor.
Wow.
And then Tebby worked there for like a month, and he was like, I'm gonna go open my own trailer. And then that's how Saigon Lavender got started.
Yeah.
So, and then I was just like, at that point I was always just trying to help anyone, you know, who was trying to do the thing. And then so I was just like, yeah, dude, I'll do whatever. And then like, so we would like, at first he was like, we would like do Daruma and then like close down and like just like slice all the pork and stuff for like Saigon Lavender in the beginning.
Oh shit.
So we're doing a lot of like crossover prep, and then when Saigon opened, it was like the little small like white and yellow trailer.
Oh, so it wasn't at the spot on 7th Street?
It was a spot, but it wasn't the
it wasn't the red cargo?
It was a really small trailer.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that.
It was crazy. Like at one point the table and the flat top was like it was like this much room to squeeze through. It was like maybe like 4 inches.
Holy shit.
So I would just like help them do prep and stuff, and then once like they like started like moving into like building like looking for like how to like upscale, that's when we like found the trailer or the shipping container, which they bought from the lady who does Picnic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it was like one of her original trailers. Yeah. It was really cool. Like show up and be like, oh snap, this lady from Picnic, and like got it. And then she like really gave us like a really nice deal on it too. Like
that's cool.
And it was like super awesome. And we're just like super excited. And it was just like one of those things where it's like the community is always helping like each other out.
Yeah, know? I mean,
like where they can.
Yeah, nobody wants to see each other fail. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but the more I feel like you just like lean into like just like really helping each other see, like that's how you build the community.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So then we did so after Saigon. Yeah, at one point I left Daruma and then I was just at Saigon like full time for a little bit, and then I left Saigon to go to Odd Duck. Like Odd Duck had opened around that same time, and then like I was just like, I really wanted to go work with like Amanda, and like I really wanted to like be like, oh, can I actually like cook? I'm like,
Amanda from Olame?
Yeah. Okay. And I was like, I wonder if I can actually like do this, you know? Because I was like, all these things were happening, you know? And I was like, oh, this is leading into this, this is leading into this, this is leading into this. And then I was like, if I did eventually have my own spot, I would like actually want to like know what I was like, how to cook for real. And Odd Duck was definitely just opened up, and like it was definitely like
that was back when like
it was crazy. Like it was like
all the OGs, like Bryce of course was there.
Yeah.
And Sam, I'm sure was there, right?
Yeah, Sam, dude, Mark and
Mark's the shit.
Like it was just like from front to the back, like the whole team was sick. Like, you know, it wasn't just like one person. It was like the whole team was like super cool. And then like even when I went in, like I just remember like there's this one server, Eric, he was just like so hyped on the kitchen, and it was like something I'd never seen, where it was like the servers being like, we have to make this like
food,
it was like they were actually working like within like interchangeably within each other to like put out a really good service and like have a really good time, and they were doing like you know, they were packed, like doing full covers, like
dude.
It was wild.
They weren't doing lunch at that point though, right? They were just doing dinner, or were they?
In the beginning, yeah. When I came on, that's when I started doing lunch.
Okay. You weren't intimidated at all by that shit? Cause
Yeah, it was. It was terrifying.
Yeah.
I like literally the only like I just got lucky because like my homie Coleman was working there. He literally was just like, yeah, he's like, come in for stage, and then like I stage, and then like I literally like I don't know if I was gonna get the job because then but I was like I was like hanging out kind of like Mark was most of the time in the back, and then I would see the line a little bit, and that's when like I was like watching Raymundo work fry, and Raymundo was crushing. Like it was insane. And he was like, he would just like stop and like he had this little mouth harp and he would just like, brr, 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 and I would like I wasn't even really doing anything, and I was so stressed out that I was like, how is he doing it by himself? And I was like, I would never be able to do like, you know. And then and I was like, man, I hope they don't give me, you know, because there was like, you know, it was just like things you're like heating up, you're doing your sauces like, so you're like getting stuff like, and I was just like, oh, I've never done this like actual cooking, you know. Because it was always like a few things, you know. It was never like fire this and then like get this.
What where did they start you on a station, or were you just mainly prep back there?
I would I mean I staged and then I didn't even like get the job at first. Like I swear I staged and then Sam was like, sat down with Sam and he was like, you know, like, what's up? And he was like, are you into it? And I was like, yeah. I was like, this is really. I was like, I've never seen anything like this. And I was like. And like, you know, he was like super kind and just like, you know, and I was like, I have some other stages. I had like a stage at Uchi and at Tatsuya, like, so I was like, I'm gonna do these other stages, and he was like, yeah, come back. And he's like, I'd love to talk to you again. And then I did those stages, and then it just didn't feel like anything like the way like Adek did, you know, just like it was just like also like just to hear those dudes, like the story of those dudes like working up in Aspen all together, coming down and doing the thing. Like I ate an Adek at the trailer like when it was just the trailer.
Right? That shit was fucking amazing.
And it was. I was like, what is this? And then like, you know, to go back and to be like, you know, the brick and mortar in the same spot, like it was just like one of those things that was like all those things like reads Austin to me, you know? Because my thing is like I'm not from Austin, so like the more that like I stay here, I'm like I just have to keep finding things that like make Austin like more of like a home for me because Austin's like always growing, and I feel like it's like
changes like
it's like completely different than what it was like when I first moved here. But like I feel like holding on to like all those things is like been really sick.
Having
like,
that like history.
Yeah.
Of like I know what you mean.
But like I don't ever feel like I was like super intimidated. I mean I feel like I was like failing. Like I felt like I was doing a bad job. Like I was like.
Were you though, or
dude, I was getting crushed.
Was it just because you felt?
I didn't know how to like do like I just didn't know how to do anything. I mean like there's like. Even it would be like one time it was like you gotta cut some apple batons for this salad, and I'd be like, oh, one time Brandon Martin came up to me and he was just like, do you know what a 3-2-1 pickle is? And I was like, yeah, I know exactly what that is. And he was just like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, and I'm like, he walks away and I turn over and I like start like googling it, and he's like right there, and he's just like, if you don't know the answer. It's like it's okay to just ask, and like that was like the first like you know like all these dudes have this thing where they're like, you know, it seems really hard, but like I don't know. I'm like my mom probably yelled at me like harder than any of these dudes did. So
it didn't bother you.
Yeah, like I'm like you just look mad, you know, like.
Where'd they start you? What station did they start you on?
I was on Fry.
Fry.
I did like work Fry for like 4 or 5 months.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
What was on Fry back then?
Did a lot of those like taco pickup, the beats, what was all of this stuff in the beginning?
Were you mainly just frying it, or were you having to fry
like,
and then plate at the same time?
You're doing a lot of passing and stuff too. There's like a muffaletta. Muffaletta's really good.
Oh, for
You
real?
do you do all the prep for all that stuff too. So it's like you gotta come in and like get your section all the way set up. And I would just like do terrible all the time.
Oh no.
Like even this one time, like just running out of taco mayo. You know, just like things are just being like not having backups or something. You know.
Oh shit, dude. Did you ever see Bryce go off or Sam go off or anything?
No,
like
one time, Sam. One time I did run out of taco mayo, and Sam was like, "You don't have a backup," and I think he said something like along the lines of like, "What kind of man are you?" And I was just like,
Oh
shit,"
shit.
you know. And then I was just like, this will never ever happen to me again. So it was like, you know, one time it was like we're getting slammed, and I was just like getting super busy, and it's like tacos are just going out, blah blah blah. And then he comes over, and I'm like, and there's just a little bit of like taco mayo in the bottle.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Tell me you have more." And I just turn around and I'm just like looking at him, and I'm like, oh shit. And he's just like, and like I could just see it. Like I was like, I'm about to get like this is it.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna embarrass me in front of everyone and fire me. And then I just go, "Nah, I'm just messing with you, buddy." Like I just open the door and like pull out a full bottle, and he just like swings his back, and he's like, "Ha ha!" And he's like, "This guy's got jokes," and he just like slaps me on the back so hard, it was
like angry
so
hard.
It was like the hardest pats on my back I've ever had.
Oh shit.
And then like after that, it was just like, you know, it was just like, if you tried to like really like be prepared, if you try to do those things, like
Yeah.
if you're asking those questions, I think that's where the kitchen can like really flourish. And like,
Yeah.
if you're not just trying to like slowly be like, I'm gonna handle all this. Like you can't, like no one can do it all by themselves.
No.
And that was like my thing was like, I didn't know how to ask for help in the beginning. So I would just be out there just like I would just be like, I'm crashing so hard. And like literally it took me so long. Like I feel like I didn't even know how to ask for help until like I was sous chef at Olame. Like,
Dude, same. Like, I didn't realize that was a thing until I started working at Barley. Like, every single kitchen I worked in, it's like you kind of feel like you're on your own.
Yeah.
And you feel like if you don't have your shit together completely, then you're fucked. And it feels like a weakness to ask somebody for help.
Yeah.
But at Barley, like, they hammered into you like, dude, ask for fucking help. If you're not ready by 4 or 5, then ask for fucking help.
Dude, and
we're here to help you.
Dude, and I was like, it was like, that thing was like, even at Olin, it was like, I was just like, yo, we were always like, let's be ready by 4:45.
Yeah.
Let's be ready by this time. And then, you know, it's like, you get to those times and it's just like, what happened? And then someone's like, and it's just like, and it's just like such a high intense moment that it's just like, it's so hard to be like, hey, it's all like, cause you have to like, you have to like comfort them, help them, and then like teach them to like, next time just ask, like, and then like, it seems like they've already, like, someone's already made the mistake, so it's just like, like, I'm like, you know, it sucks like, like that instant shutdown when you feel like you made a mistake, like that happens to everyone, like, and that's the hardest thing to like really control, is like when someone's like going through that and they're like, like, but I didn't do like my best, and like, you know, and it's like I want to go back and do my best.
But
like,
you can like do it if you like learn how to like delegate some shit, or like figure out how to do it with a team.
Yeah, but that was also like another thing in cooking that like kind of makes me love it too, because I'm like, here's this thing that we've worked so hard on, and now it's gone. Like, and now someone's like devouring it, like making it look like the worst thing ever. You know, like it's so like it's just like, I don't know, like. It's a huge lesson in just like being able to come together and just like letting that thing go.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, sometimes like when I was working the grill at Barley, it was the coolest thing. Like when I just get like fucking slammed for like Valentine's or New Year's or something like that, and then you look up and you look out in the dining room and you realize like everybody fucking, you nailed everything. All the steaks came out fucking beautiful. All the, like everything you did, and then you look out, you see all the people you served. You're like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, I just fucking killed it, dude.
Seriously.
I just fucking nailed that whole service.
Yeah.
Wait, so after Odd Dog, what happened with Odd Dog? Did you end up leaving that the same way? You were just like, peace out, I'm leaving?
No, like, so, no, Zach came to me one day after, like, you know, I like begged him to make me work grill, and then like once I started working grill, I was just like, I just like wanted to do live fire stuff. So I was just like only wanting to work the grill and the oven, and like it was just like super fun. And then I did. I worked on it. Like I think like the only section I really didn't work that much or anything was like saute and hot X.
Okay.
But then we started doing Paperboy.
Oh, so you
and
just
that's when-
transitioned over there?
No, I was doing it. I was doing both at first for a while.
That shit was fucking great back in the day, man. Like it was. I mean, it's good now, but it's a very different thing.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of like Austin changing, like dude,
Yeah.
that shit just morphed into something completely different.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like they're doing really well, and like
Yeah.
you know,
Is
but like
it-
the fact that like we were serving like egg sandwiches and people were like showing up on blankets just like sit in the gravel and like
That shit was so cool.
it was tight. Like it was so cool. It just felt like everybody was like really coming just to have like breakfast and like
Yeah.
sit around and hang out and like the music. You know, like everybody just like listening. Like the music was always good. Like it was
Yeah.
always so sick.
It was a vibe, yeah, for sure. And you had to like catch it at a certain time because you guys closed at like I think like 2 or 3 or some shit.
Yeah.
And also when it started popping off, it was like, oh shit, I gotta
Yeah.
go before it gets
Yeah.
too crazy.
Yeah. Sometimes that line would just like go all the way. And it was
Yeah.
like holy shit.
I drove by a couple times and was like, oh shit, I'm not getting breakfast today. That ain't gonna happen. But that shit was legit too. Like talking about like making something simple but good.
Yeah.
It was just like a steak sandwich with an egg and chimichurri,
Yeah.
but it was done really well. I don't know if you guys made the buns in house. Did you guys do buns? No, you
Not
guys
in-house, but
you
we
guys-
yeah.
But like it was so like well done, but it was simple.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's all it is. Like
just do something
that's what it
simple
takes.
really well.
Yeah, and give people a good space to be in, and like you
Yeah.
know, it
Yeah,
really
yeah.
like takes care of itself.
Yeah. Were you part of that? Were you like a sous chef of that, or were you just came to like cook?
I mean, in the terms, I guess I would just like put it in that way because it was just like Zach and then me, and like Zach was still doing a lot of like Odd Duck stuff, so like he was still running brunch at Odd Duck, so like
Damn.
I would just come in on the weekends, and then like some, you know, and then it would be like me and like Will Taylor, or, like Theo, and like Ryan, and then we hired Javi.
At Paperboy?
Yeah,
Oh shit! No
Javi
way.
would come and help out on the weekends. sometimes.
What about Phil?
Phil? Yeah,
Phil said he worked there a couple times, yeah.
Phil worked out. I mean, even Bradley worked there for a little bit.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, Bradley used to come in on Sundays and help out. Like everyone, like Willie Goins helped out
Yeah.
for a little bit. Like
That's cool.
Anna helped out. Parker helped out. Like
That's really cool.
everyone,
That
like-
seems like real scratch, like kind of kitchen.
yeah, and it was
Yeah.
just like the homie just being like, "Yo, I'll come through," and like just lend a hand.
Yeah.
And it like really helped and like made it happen. Dude, the one time this pigeon flew into the trailer, and Parker just caught it with his bare hands and just threw it out of the trailer.
Joked it.
Real
Holy
life.
shit. Dude, that's trailer life, man.
Yeah.
Like one time, me and this girl, Hiromi, who used to work at. I don't know if you remember her.
Dude, yeah,
dude, she was a
dude.
great artist,
Bro,
dude.
it's
She
fucking
still follows
awesome,
me
yeah.
every time.
She
Every
used
once
to
in a
make
while.
she made the dino like cards and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Dude,
Dude, she's
awesome.
super cool. Super chill. Great taste in music. And like one day, she just would not really talk. She's super like quiet. And then one day, a fucking locust came down. You know those big ass fucking locusts that used to hang out at Shangri-La? Came down out of the tree and like landed on the ticket rail. And I was just like, I'm not touching that. So I just like worked like 3 or 4 hours with that thing on the ticket rail until she got there, and then she came in and was just like, and she like set it off. She took it down off the ticket rail, just set it free, and I was like, I feel like such a pussy right now. Like I could have just swatted it off the ticket rail.
Like, go away.
Yeah. She's like, what are you doing? Just take it off the ticket rail, dude.
Like, I got tickets. I'm
Yeah.
just-
I don't want to touch it. I try to scare it away with death grips. It doesn't work. You know.
You're like, oh, let's
Yeah, play like blast of black metal or something. It just didn't work, dude. It was like a peaceful vibe or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was like, I like this. You trying to get rid of me?
What happened with that place with Paperboy? Because I feel like I went to Michigan. I think my last meal in Austin was actually at Paperboy, and then I left the next day. And like, I feel like collapsed in some way, like, or the Paperboy that I
think-
knew it, at least, like, because
Personally-
you guys all fucking left.
I still think personally, like, I didn't know like what it could become, or, like what it would become. You know, like
Yeah.
I didn't really know how to like navigate that. Like, and then I knew that Zach was always going to leave and go back to
Odd Duck?
the Odd Duck family.
Okay.
And then so it was just like,
Oh, so he kind of like had 2 feet, like if 1 foot in and 1 foot out kind of thing? Okay. I didn't know that.
and his thing is that he was like, I think with Zach he was always like, I don't know if I'm fully gonna come onto this. I just would like to like help him get started. And then I think that like with all of us, like we were all like, I mean, especially with me, I was like, this is it. Like this is gonna be sick. Let's take it. Let's go. And then once it was like Zach was like, well, I want to like leave, and I was just like, oh, I don't know. Like I guess I want to leave too. And then I like went and worked at Buffalina.
Buffalina?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, with Marco?
No, right before Marco.
Oh, shit,
But I
no
think,
way.
well, Marco was there. Marco was at on the east side location, and I was up north. So
You were at the Duet.
yeah, so I was doing
Okay.
prep, and I would just like come in because like at the same time I was like picking up shifts, like doing film catering stuff.
Okay.
So
For-
like, I would
for
do
what?
like some day shift like film catering things, like just
What was the
random
company?
movies in Austin for locations.
No, like what was the company? Was it a catering company or was
Yeah.
it just like
It's a catering company.
what was the company?
Locations. That's what it's
It's
called.
just called locations.
Yeah.
That's hard to explain. I thought you were just like, yeah, I know they're.
No, and they're like all like legend, like dude. All those dudes are like, dude. The dudes on the location team is like insanely good. They're just like,
Did they do like high end shit or just like?
yeah,
basic?
dude. Like honestly, like a lot of the dudes who actually run their trucks is like, they're just like whipping up the menus in like the quickest way. They're just like doing whole menus and like turning out food for like 150, 200 people like
Jesus.
every day, like a whole new menu. I'm like,
Yeah.
so it was really fun. It was like really wild. And I
Dude,
was like,
catering can be fun. Man.
yeah,
It's like
and I was like, this is definitely like a fast track to like learn a lot of like skills that I don't have.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
then it's
right.
like also, but like I feel like it's kind of like the thing was like when you do something too fast, there's always that thing. It's like there's always the downside of it, like like the 18-hour, like 20-hour sometimes days, and it's just like
It does fucking suck. I don't know how that catering was, but it's like
Yeah.
it sucks that you have to like bring all the shit in, build the whole fucking kitchen, right? Then you
Dude.
gotta fucking like
dude, cook all the food.
cook all the food, and that doesn't even include like the prep you got to do with the fucking commissary. And then at the very end, you're like, "All right, we did it, guys. Let's break it all fucking down and let's put it back in
Drive
the
it all
truck and
back,
let's
and
drive
it's
it
like
all back,
all
do
the-
all the dishes." It's like, yeah, fuck. That part of it sucks,
Yeah.
but it is fun. Like that kind of like run and gun kind of like
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
But it was like really fun. It was insane. But like I met like Kyle MacLachlan.
Who?
Kyle MacLachlan. You know
Who's that?
The dude from Twin Peaks.
Oh shit. Okay.
He
Oh
was
yeah.
just- yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
He
Nice.
he just he has a cast iron and he likes to talk about like cast iron care, and it's like it's really cool because it's like really funny when you're just like cooking food and it's someone famous and they're like, hey, and they're like they just kind of start chatting to you about like cooking stuff, and you're just
Yeah,
like,
they want to know.
and they're like, oh, I got this at my house, and you just like imagine their kitchen and you're like, I bet you do. We should sight.
Bet you got all the best shit. Yeah.
But it was like really sick.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Hardy was like super cool. He was just like a nice guy. Like a lot of people were just
Tom
like,
Hardy? You met Tom
He
Hardy?
was just a nice guy.
Oh shit, dude.
I gave him a salad and he was just like, yeah, thanks, I'm sick.
He's a big
It's a
salad guy.
Yeah.
Training for some shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So like film catering's like really fun in that way. Like you get to like meet a lot of people. And
Yeah.
if you're like into just like chatting up people, like
Yeah.
it's a really cool spot to be in.
Yeah. I'm sure they appreciate like good food too.
And all those people are just like a family. Like all the drivers, like all the catering guys, they all like work the same shows together.
Yeah.
So it's like really cool when they all show up and then like they all like get together and like do stuff. It's like it's like its own little world. It's like really sick. But yeah, then I came back and after that I worked at Sour Duck for a little bit.
Oh no way.
Yeah,
Okay.
when Sour Duck reopened. And I worked with Nick again, and that's where
Oh shit,
Me and
that's
Nick
right.
worked
Yes,
there.
that's pretty recently.
Yeah.
That was like a couple years ago. Yeah.
yeah. I did that for a little bit and then I wanted to bake really bad. So I started working for Micklethwait. And I was working at Sour Duck and Micklethwait.
Wait, Micklethwait was doing baking?
Yeah, Micklethwait, they were baking they bake all their bread and all their cakes and stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and like
I
all
had
the
no idea.
pastries and stuff.
Wait, why couldn't you do it at sourdough? They didn't have a
Well,
spot
because
to,
it was
bake?
like it was also like when sourdough kind of first started, so it was back when Cody was like the baker,
Okay.
and so it was like there was like a lot of like everyone was trying to bake. Like,
Oh, okay.
you
There's
know?
no spot for you and
Yeah.
shit? Yeah.
And I was like still like I didn't know a whole lot. I just wanted to like learn.
Yeah.
And I was like still doing that thing like in the kitchen where you're like, I want to learn, and everyone's like, shut up. Like, come to me with some real questions and stop saying you just want to learn about this thing. You've been saying that for 3 months now. No questions. So it was like, so then I started, and it was like, you know, it was like, also it was like at Midway I was there kind of by myself a lot, so it was like, it was easier.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So then I started just like kind of like baking there once their baker left, and then I was just like doing the white bread and the pies and stuff. And I did that for like a little bit, and then Daruma, and then I started picking up shifts at Daruma again, and then like Yoshi texted me and was just like, "You want to work?" And I was just
Wait,
like,
so was Yoshi, like, did he come into Dharma a lot or something?
No.
Like, how did you know? How did you meet Yoshi?
I met Yoshi in the Eastside King days. He would always come by. They would always be at Liberty and shit.
For sure,
Yeah.
yeah. And then, wait,
That's-
did you ever work at the South, not South?
I worked with him at Kome, and I liked him at Kome.
Dude, I can't believe
He worked
at
in
Coma.
the very
I
beginning.
cannot believe that.
Dude, it was sick. Yoshi was tight. He was just like, he was like Yoshi now, but like he had a boss, so like, you know, like, so he was kind of just like,
He was a little more like head down.
You know,
Oh shit, he was more
you know,
like
he's
he was
like-
more like fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Like that kind of.
"Well, whatever, like, you know, so it was like, but he was so tight. He was-
Uncontrollable,
He was already
yeah.
so good, so it was
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
him
yeah.
just being like, give me this. He was like, they would be like, he'd be on the line, they would be like, he would just like take other people's tickets because they were just like making rolls and stuff too slow. He's like, just give me this. Hurry up. Kobe is so wild. One time we were doing really bad in the kitchen, and Take comes back and he just throws the whole fucking stereo system away.
Why?
Because like the food wasn't coming out fast enough. It was so funny. He's like, food's not coming out fast enough. He's like, it's the music. It's just like the whole thing. And he just leaves.
That's the answer. Silence.
He just leaves the kitchen, and I just like, I just like picked it back out, and like put it back up. I was like, this dude just mad.
Oh, it's amazing. But so you never got that chance to work sushi until Otoko?
Yeah, like I never actually like I've never like I feel like I've never actually gotten the chance to actually work like a really busy sushi line. Like,
Yeah, because you
to
guys
get
only
those
do like
reps, you know?
12 seats or 12 covers per seating, right? Is
Yeah.
that right?
Mhm.
Jesus, man.
So it was super sick, and like, but the thing is about like, I learned so much more about the quality of like good fish and like
For sure,
and
yeah,
good
right.
technique, and like what it like really means, and like learning that like a lot of like what people are doing is just like cutting the corners and like
Oh, for sure, yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
it's like, you know, it's like people who use like offset spatulas for like putting fish on like rice balls.
Yeah.
But it's just like doing things the right way, and then like also like learning how to like, I guess like perform in like that setting of the dining, like because
It is kind of like a performance.
yeah,
You have to
'cause,
carry
like,
yourself a certain way.
because you can just give them, you can just be like, this thing, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this. But
Yeah.
like if you're like, it's just like one of those things that's like that kind of like, it's like the magic of Yoshi is like you know, it's like you're always wondering, you're like, people are always like, this is the man, or like, you know, you get like, I gotta go see this person, and you're like, and then like you don't see it until it's happening, or like how smooth service actually is, and like but what's happening on the other side of the curtain, or like what's going on, or like what's really happening, and how well he's just like treating his guests, and just like
Yeah.
there's just like his movement, and like how like effortlessly he's like putting like food in front
Okay.
of people. Man, you never been there?
No, it's so
I
expensive.
don't wanna,
I can't
like-
do it. I can't
I
can't afford it.
because if you've never seen it, it'd be really cool if you just like walked in and watched how service happens.
I would love that. That'd be amazing.
Because everything is like very synchronized. Like you're doing
Yeah.
it. It's kind of like a dance. That's what we would call it. Like it's like we're doing this dance, and it's like I just feel like the way that Yoshi is like running his restaurant is like a way that's like it's like a way of taking the restaurant back for like the cook and the chef.
I feel like we're kind of at that same point that like my favorite restaurants are like Mission Chinese and like the OG like Momofuku and like Bam in London. Like those people, like they were kind of in that same spot. They're like, oh, no one likes what we do, so we're just gonna fucking do what we want and play loud music and not give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are like kind of like hungry for that kind of thing. I could be wrong. Yeah. I could be totally wrong. But
no,
like,
I think they
feel like people
are.
are like kind of tired of like stylized like fancy restaurants and shit like that, and like Instagram food kind of thing. It's like somebody's coming and shake it up. I feel like the only person who's doing that right now is like Bad Larry, like that kind of thing. Like, have you been to Bad Larry yet?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, it's kind of like you go there and it's like this is a burger, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want it, well then get the fuck out of here. I don't care. Yeah. Like that kind of thing. I feel like you're kind of doing it. You're like okonomiyaki in the morning. Okay, you don't want it, then get the fuck out. Like,
yeah. I mean, my thing is like, if you're not willing to try it, then you're just gonna miss it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
my thing is like,
I don't care.
And my thing is like, even I don't know, like I'm not trying to like reach out to like people and be like, yo, come blow me up, I'm just like, come try it. Like,
yeah.
If you don't like it, like, it's okay.
It's whatever.
But, like, I just feel like, like I grew up just like watching anime and just like kind of being like a little bit of like a nerd, and I was just like, these are the things that like really register with me. And then like after like going through all the stuff I went through in Austin, when somebody was like, here's this kitchen, what would you do? And I was just like, at first, like, but I mean, at first I like, I didn't land there. I was just like, well, I mean, I guess I can give you a menu. It was like a really standard. I was like, we can do 2 soups, or we can do some sandwiches, we can just do this thing, and like, it could be like a little standard like coffee shop that like has sandwiches and stuff. And then I would just like sit there and I was just like, nah, like might as well. Like, like if I have this chance, like, and everyone kept saying it's like a very rare opportunity to like just have this chance, and I was just like, and then once I figured I was gonna do okonomiyaki, I didn't say it for a second because I was like, everyone's gonna be mad, and then they were like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, okonomiyaki, and then they were just like, what? Oko what? And like seriously, everyone, Oko what? And I was just like, it's fine. But my thing is like, it's not even like, even if everyone comes into it, if people are like saying okonomiyaki a year from now, normally, it'll be tight. Like then I'll know. Then I'll know that like
that's true. You made an impact.
Then I'll be like, all right, cool. Like people can say the word okonomiyaki. And then like but hopefully by that time like Tiny Diner's menu will completely change, and like we'll be doing some different stuff. It's just like that's why I called it Tiny Diner, because I was like, tiny because it is small, but like diner because it's like
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm just like,
if you're not feeling okonomiyaki next year, you can do something else.
And it's something that like, it's like me, like it's like I haven't worked at a place in Austin for like more than like 2.5 years,
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm afraid that I'm like, what if I hate my own restaurant in like 2 years? Like, what if I'm just like, fucking hate this place. I gotta.
But that's the cool thing, is that it's yours now, so you can change. You can fucking be like, oh fuck it, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm gonna change it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do halal now. I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Like, what's up?
That's cool. yeah.
I met my homie here, and now he's doing this.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I wanted to like, definitely like super recently, like probably by even when this is coming out, we'll be doing the pop-ups Thursday nights, and because I just got the confirmation for that today. And they reached out to me and they were like, you want to do this? And then they were like, going so fast. So it's going to be super sick.
How's it feel, man?
Wild.
Yeah.
It just feels like it feels all those things that like I feel like I need to be stressed out about. I'm just like, I just got to be patient, Like I'm just trying to be patient.
That's a good mindset.
And I'm just trying to like make sure like have products and like can take care of people.
Yeah.
And because I definitely just didn't do this the right way, Like it was just like, people are like,
just fell into your lap.
You need to save up like this much before you like start your business, and you gotta do this, and like you gotta know all these things before you start doing this stuff. And I was just like, and they were like, if you don't open right now, someone else is gonna open up in here.
And you're like, fuck.
And I was just like, okay, I'll just stand in the kitchen all day. I'll just stand in here, and then I just opened it.
Hold your spot.
Yeah.
Shit,
I was just like literally, I was just like going there every day to be like, pretending to do work, to be like, I'm here doing work, and then being like, I have so much stuff I gotta go do at Ole But just like to hold the spot and like to make it happen, and like, every time like something like was gonna happen where like would be like, okay, well, if this doesn't work, then it's not gonna work, and then that thing would work out. So it was just like, you know, he'd take another step, and then like, you know,
damn, dude, yeah.
like, I mean, then like Coco showed up, like Austin Monthly reached out, like all these people just started reaching out, and I was just like, damn, this is super sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people have just been so kind. Like, it's just like really like shouts to the people. Like,
yeah, man.
everyone's been so nice, and like really just the homies, like the word of the mouth of the homies, like
yeah, man.
it's crazy. Like a lot of people just coming in because like someone's like, oh yeah, this thing, or like already being out somewhere and someone's like, so like what do you do? And I'm like, oh yeah, we got the spot like Tiny Diner, and they're like, I think I've heard of that, and I'm like, oh sick. I'm like, come by, you know, even if you are lying to me.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You got the hot shit right now, man.
No, not yet. I need a real kitchen. You gotta come by and see it.
For sure. Yeah.